Well guys, it's absolutely glorious today. I'm at the back end of the day. As per normal, I've had things to do at home and with the family. That's all taken care of. It's around 6 o'clock in the evening. The heat of the day's dissipating and there's enough light left for me to enjoy being in this little bit of cover, with all the new leaves out, all the new plants. The vegetation is looking glorious in here. The last few times you may have been here with me, it's been a bit bare and sparse, and in some occasions wet and flooded. But it's absolutely stunning today, and it's almost a summer's evening. Right, I do actually have a Bergen cover. It's not a military one. I've had to cover a fair bit of distance on open road, so I've kind of kept it a little bit more discreet. Well, it's gone well past 6 o'clock now, and I've been basically just enjoying just sitting here and looking at the sun and basically watching the insects buzz around the flowers. But I do actually have to set up camp, so I'm going to get that done now and start thinking about getting some food on, getting some firewood prepped, and yeah, starting really thinking about the evening routine. Yeah, so this is the hatchet I upgraded in my last video, and I'm having a lot of fun using it. You know, it's not as short. I didn't actually get around to putting that last finish on the actual blade, but it's doing all right. And yeah, it feels nice to have a wooden handled hatchet actually. The actual head is a little bit heavier than the other one as well, so there is a little bit more clout when you go through the wood. I'm just letting that fire get some coals at the bottom, stop smoking, get up to temperature, and then I'll start cooking and getting a brew on. I have brought the lantern again on this one here, quite simply because I was able to carry it in without too much aggravation on this particular wild camp. Like I said, if I was hiking distance, it's not practical because you've got to kind of be a little bit thoughtful, and thereafter you can't be throwing your Bergen all over hedges and when you're going over styes, you've just got to look after it a bit more. So, but for this one, a majority of the hike in was actually on good standing road, so I was able to do it. Well, you can see the top part of the field is still getting the sun. The bottom bit is beginning to get shaded. The sun is beginning to set. Well, in a moment, once I've got myself sorted here, we're going to talk about, is camo still relevant for bushcrafting and wild camping? Bearing in mind I'm a rural dwelling person, I've got to travel 6 miles in one direction to get to a town and 5 miles in another direction. Not remote, but rural. Well, I forgot my tin opener. You can guess what other uses a hatchet has. So yeah, I've now got access to my luncheon meat. Sweet corn. This does have a ring pull, but first we got to get our trusty super noodles going. You can probably guess what I'm going to do. I'm going to cook up the super noodles, then I'm going to add the sweet corn and then the luncheon meat and just let it all simmer together for a while. And then I've got kind of a wild camp stew, if you want to call it that. I don't know what you would call it, but it all goes together and it does actually taste quite nice. Don't forget the flavour. Just wasted a good portion of it. In that goes. In goes the noodles. I always find it's best to do the noodles, let them soak up all the flavour, get them really soft, and then when you add the sweet corn, allow the juice to simmer in all of that as well. It does help with the flavour. So this is how my tea is coming together. My noodles are doing, slowly, but they're doing. I've got a bottle of Rattler, and it's the cloudy one. Like I said, we're in Cornwall, so I've got to have a Rattler. And I've got a cheap Tesco's cider. And as with everything with me, the word budget pretty much comes in front of everything I do. Right, so the noodles are done. So what I'm doing now is I've tipped the sweet corn and the luncheon meat, and I'm going to, well, basically stir that up and make it into kind of like a stew and just let it simmer till it gets really, really red hot. So while my tea simmers away there, we'll have a little chat about camo. Right then, is camo clothing irrelevant in the outdoors environment? A lot of people have moved away from it and they wear the block civilian coloured clothing of forest colours and what manufacturers are producing for people to be out in the outdoor environment, and that ultimately filters down to wild camping and bushcrafting activities. For me, I basically wear a mixture of both, but I'm in this environment here now. I've put this on and I like to think that it's helping me if I need it to, and I need to hunker down to avoid detection, or being seen anyway by inquisitive eyes and then awkward questions to follow. The disruptive pattern on camo clothing does play a part in it. It may be a block colour, but it has various different patterns which provides the disruption in your overall shape. If you've got the civilian clothing that isn't camo, you still have that broad block outline of your shape, and this is what it was designed to do, provide a disruptive outline to your figure. And it does actually work. If you actually care to get some camo clothing, put up in a tree or somewhere and just keep walking back, it'll eventually disappear from the line of your sight faster than a block coloured, even if it's green or brown. You will still lose sight of that before the block colour. That's not just me saying it. Obviously, you know, militaries have invested thousands or, well, millions in the development of this, you know, camo clothing. The civilian camo clothing, that woodland pattern, which is all over the States, Canada, Alaska, and has moved across to Europe and indeed here. I mean, the civilians market is, you know, really big in it for sporting people. And if you've ever seen it, that woodland pattern, it really does work fantastic. The problem with that is that if you're out and about wearing the civilian one, there's on farmers' land or any land, there is a high chance, probably more so than wearing this, that you're going to be thought of that you're up to no good. It is extremely fashionable amongst all sporting, from fishing, shooting, horse riding. I mean, I've even seen quad bikes with it embossed into the actual plastic work of it, and indeed the four-wheel drive cars they whiz around, not cars, like little Jeep things they whiz around, it'll have that woodland camo on it. So, you know, I personally feel this is a better option than the civilian camo, but ultimately it all comes down to personal choice. It has fallen out of favour, and some people consider it an aggressive form of clothing to be out in the outdoor environment. But when you're talking about rural crime and things like that, you're not pretty much going to get young people running around in this anymore. It's going to be people in possibly the civilian work clothing of block colours. And that's just a fact. I mean, the farms down the road, they've had batteries taken out of tractors, and the gentleman I speak to in his farm, he's had, you know, tools taken out of his workshop. And I would bet money on it, they're not running around in this kind of camo. You're more likely to find the farm labourer, the workman, the builder, the carpenter, the dog walker, and indeed the farmer himself have one of these chucked around in the back of his cupboard, you know, because this has been around for forever. It's not going to go away anytime fast. There's just so much of it out there. It has, and I have to admit, become unfashionable, but it still has a place. It's still relevant, and if you do have it, you know, I wouldn't be too ashamed to wear it. I never wear it as a double up top and bottom. I always have it either my bottom or top. That just kind of gives me that little bit more of a well, workman look about me. But you take your money, you take your pick, and you make your choice. It still has its place. Like I said, I'm here, and if I was to see somebody at the other end of the field in a gate, I could hunker down, and I could at least hope that the disruptive pattern breaks up my outline. But yeah, my thoughts on it are, you know, it's still relevant. You may have different thoughts, and I think that's the beauty of, well, you know, being able to wear what you want in the countryside. I mean, if I wanted to, I could wear a Mr. Blobby outfit if I wanted to. You know, it's not going to help me avoid detection, and I'm probably going to draw a lot of attention to myself. But you know, it's just an open debate, and if you are wearing any form of camo, I wouldn't feel too, you know, discouraged from doing it. And you know, and if you really do feel that camo gives your game away, obviously this is all irrelevant to you, what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm going to grab something to eat. So as you can see, I've gone through a fair bit of that already. I'm actually stuffed because obviously it's a can of luncheon meat, which is heavy, the sweet corn, and a packet of noodles. And I really don't think I can do any more. I'm looking at it, I want to eat it, but I am stuffed. And it is really nice. I'm saying it's got a very, it's probably not that healthy because I can taste the salt on my tongue now. But yeah, you just want to keep shoveling it in. And it's good outdoor, it's cheap, good outdoor food. This will really set you up and get you through the night. You're not going to wake up hungry, and it will, you know, obviously pack a lot of everything you need to help your body keep warm and things like that. You probably need to drink an extra bottle of cider, or have an extra coffee, or if we're going to be healthy, an extra cup of water, because obviously the salt is, like I've just said, I'm going to have a swig on my cider, because that is actually tingling on my tongue. Yeah, that's better. If you ever do try to copy what I've done here, make sure you've got plenty to drink. Well, you can see the campfire from here. I mean, if you were to go back 1,000 years, you know, you could still relate the joy of a small campfire to anybody from that period. It's just something primeval. And it's just got that instant gratification, the feel-good factor, and it draws you in. Like I said, I just want to sit beside it now. And there it is. This wood I'm burning, I'm not quite sure what windfall it actually is, because there's several different species here, but it's been on the ground where it's not rotted, but it's lost all its bark, and because of the dry weather we've had, it's just absolutely throwing out tons of heat. You could probably just about feel it looking at the picture of this fire now. Well, as you can see, it's starting to get you know, dark, and yeah, I'm going to get the camel jacket off. We've just been talking about it, but it is coming off. I don't love it that much. I sleep in it. I'm going to get some warmer clothes on. Yeah, those skies. It's going to be cold tonight. I can feel it. Yeah. So I'm going to go get all this together, get it on. I'll catch you guys in a minute. Well, it's nearly dark. There's a bit of a sunset over there. I think if I was slightly more in the open, I would see a bit more colour to it. But I'm just basically sat here now, just enjoying watching the last of the light disappear, and keeping the fire going and waiting for the darkness to kind of envelop us. Well, tomorrow we're staying in Jamaica Inn. It's for our wedding anniversary, and obviously my birthday. We combine both together, and it's always an enjoyable time when we stay there. We stay in either one of the haunted rooms. We try to run through all of them, And yeah, my wife has a big fascination with all things kind of spooky and everything. So, you know, she enjoys it, and I just enjoy having a bit of adult time, no kids, and we're usually the last ones to leave the bar. We thoroughly enjoy ourselves when we go there, and I'm really looking forward to it. When you solo wild camp, it is nice because you get that chance to actually think about things, and you know, you don't get silence in the modern world. Well, morning guys. I've got some coffee on the go, or at least I'm boiling some water. It's looking like it's going to be another glorious day down here in North Cornwall. A little bit of mist, but that's cleared off already. I'm up early and I'm getting myself together because quite simply I've got the school run to do, and then I got some custom hiking sticks I've got to make a start on. I've allowed myself to get a little bit behind, so I'm going to be pretty much at it full steam ahead today. And then, as I said, this evening, me and the wife are out. So, you know, I've got to really sort of get this kind of get my day underway. Right, I've got my coffee, and I'm beginning to make things happen here. I'm going to close camp down in a minute. Uh, there is farm activity happening in the surrounding fields, and you know, it's been a good wild camp for considering it was a spur of the moment, chuck it all. No, well, not spur of the moment, but I knew it was going to be a rushed one, and it's been that way. But yeah, it's worked out okay. Now I do have one wild camp I want to take you to, and or take you on, but that's high on the moors, and it's to a really special location. But I need time to get in and get back out. So, and I really want to wait for, you know, midsummer to get the best light conditions and the longest light conditions, so you can really savor the location and take it in, because it is possibly one of the most stunning locations here in Cornwall, in my mind anyway. And yeah, it is absolutely, you know, unbelievable. But I'll well, take you there when we get to that particular point. So yeah, it's basically a solid oak block. I suppose it's the next best thing to porridge. It's just not warm. I suppose I could dunk it in my coffee. And I do like doing that with my bourbons and chocolate digestives. But I got a feeling I'd end up with loads of floaters on the top of my coffee with oats. And I could see myself drinking it back and choking on bits of oats. So, you know, this will be eaten as it's intended. It does say feed the fire inside, and I hope I've left enough for the kids pack lunch, or I could be in for a swift talking to from the missus. Well, what is the kids pack lunch drawer for? It's for dads to help themselves, is it not? Well, camp is pretty much packed up really, just the last bits before I leave. I've just damped down the last of the coals. I'm just gonna let that sit while I finish up a coffee. But check this sun out. It's going to be a scorcher, I think. It's looking absolutely gleaming. Look at that sun. Summer's here. Well guys, I'm all packed up, leave no trace, there's nothing here. And I'm going to head out and crack on with my day. And all that's to be said is thanks for coming along. And I hope you enjoyed a little bit of a wild camp in a little bit of a favourite area for myself. So till next time, stay safe, and I hope to catch you guys out on the trail. This is Andy from Hidden Valley Footpaths. Cheers.